Good evening, everybody. I'd like to call the Town Council meeting for Wednesday, November 3rd to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Excuse me. And remain standing for a moment of silence for our men and women serving here and abroad. Thank you. Clerk, excuse me. Clerk Semino, roll call vote, please.
Councilor Hume?
Here.
Councilor Ringus?
Here.
Councilor Ryan?
Here.
Councilor Flaherty?
Here.
Councilor Sasha?
Here.
Councilor Connors will not be attending this evening. Councilor O'Brien for roll call. He said present, thank you. Councilor Barrica?
Here.
Councilor Manikin?
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we do have a councilor remote, so all of our votes tonight will be via a roll call vote. Moving on to announcements. First is hopefully most of you voted at home yesterday or at the 3 polling places. Just want to commend and congratulate all the winners and also commend and thank everybody who put themselves in a race, whether it be for the council, the school committee, library trustees, the electric light board, or the housing authority. We have over 37,000 residents here in town, and there's not many who step up and run for office. So the very few that did, I commend you, I thank you, and I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot of you in the future. Congratulations to all, and thank to all the voters who came out and voted. Also, I think we owe a special round of thanks to Beld for the nor'easter that took place last week. As many of you have known who live in Braintree for any amount of time, you know we very rarely lose power, and if we do, it's not very long at all. I think I lost it maybe half hour. I know there was some areas in town harder hit and lost for a little bit more than that just because of downed trees and whatnot. I work with many people who didn't have power for days and almost going into a week. So thank you for the coordinated effort between Beld, DPW, Braintree Fire, Braintree Police, the Mayor's Office. Tremendous effort by all, great communication, getting everybody back up and running with power and whatnot. So thanks and appreciation on behalf of the council and all the residents. And any other councilor have an announcement? I know we have with us tonight the Marge Crispin Center and Ann Toland. You want to come up? Welcome. We always love having you here. You all should have something at your table from the Marge Crispin Center.
I did give you a handout.
Yes, thank you.
And those are the year-end statistics that we do every year. It qualifies us for any grants that are available through Greater Boston, and we do have to keep track of pounds of food that come in, and that's what Greater Boston requires. So that's an ongoing record that we keep. So, and I like to give it out because I think people should be aware of what they do when they contribute to us. They help us to be able to help so many people in Braintree, and we're all appreciative of that. But I thank the council for having us tonight for our annual chat, and on behalf of the board of directors and my staff, we appreciate everything that you do as a council and also as individual members. We appreciate it. I have 3 of my board members with me tonight. Marta Guggens is here. She's the chairman of our board of directors. Carolyn Maud and Matt Sterling. And without all of them, I don't think we could function very well. They're very supportive, and we have a great board of directors. But I just wanted to bring everybody up to date. As you know, for everybody, it's been a difficult year, a difficult time during the COVID crisis. And at the beginning of the pandemic, Both Marta and myself were asked to go on to the community task force as members of our organization to help out with food supplies for people in Braintree. And as a result, not only do we still have people come to the center for their food orders, which we are doing curbside now instead of letting everybody in, we instituted a delivery service, and that was for grocery orders for elders, disabled, anybody with immune issues that could not go out right from the beginning of the pandemic. We also instituted a delivery system for COVID victims that couldn't go out and get their groceries. We have volunteers that do the deliveries Tuesdays and Thursdays to our elders and disabled. But when we have the COVID families, we make up the orders, and either BEMA comes out or somebody from Brewster has done some of our orders, or the Board of Health, instead of having our volunteers go out and do that. And we do approximately 50 deliveries a week. And then we have at least 50 more families that come to the center on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays for pickup. So it's been a very busy year. And thanks to so many people that support us, we're able to provide dairy, we provide meat products, and these are all when available, but we always have some dairy, meat products, we have produce. Then we have paper goods. We have all the non-perishable items. We have diapers, which we're very much in need this year. So we had an ample supply of diapers. We also give out the sanitary wipes, the sanitizer, and masks. We give out a load of masks. And they're provided by the town and by a couple of the merchants that do masks, so we freely give out masks too. And we've done boxes of them for like schools, often daycare centers and things that we send the children's masks out for. So we're really very happy that we can provide all these things, plus detergents, soaps, shampoos went out this year, toothpaste, everything. So people are getting what they need, and they can call and request them on their deliveries. But thanks to this wonderful town government, right from the mayor to all the town departments, from the schools, from churches, private organizations, the clubs and things in the town, they periodically do food drives for us. They come over and they deliver. We have a couple of churches that do monthly food drives, and they bring that over. And private residents are coming all the time with bags of food. And a couple of families, they have the children come up to the door with what they've bought at the store, you know. And it's a nice thing to see the whole community involved with the program. And we have a tremendous group of volunteers that come in, plus our staff. So we're very, very fortunate, very blessed to be here in Braintree. And it's nice to know that we're carrying on the traditions of Marge Crispin. I began volunteering with her many years ago, but it's important for me to think that we can still carry on her traditions and her wishes. So anyway, I did give everybody a copy of these statistics, and as we're approaching the holiday season again, in addition to everything, we're preparing now for Thanksgiving distribution. Everybody will get a turkey. They'll get all the fixings that go with their meal. And at Christmas, it'll be a choice of turkey or ham, with the appropriate things to make their dinner. And then toys and gifts for children, and there also is gift cards for every family so that they can go out and get anything additional that they need. The Thanksgiving distribution will be on November 22nd, which is the Monday of Thanksgiving week. They will get all the staples for their meal for the holiday, and it'll be the 22nd. Any late people who were late signing up will take care of them on the 23rd. And for Christmas, it is Monday, December 13th, starts our distribution, and the 14th, and then the morning of the 15th is for grandparents. They can come in and get a few items for their grandchildren. We will be going back to 74 Pond Street for the distributions because over on Lincoln Street, we just don't have the space or the parking spaces to accommodate everybody. And as you can see by this disclosure here, we did 400 children last year. That's toys and gifts. 175 families with Thanksgiving, and 224 families had Christmas meals. So, and family could be a large family or it could be a single elderly person, and that's how we calculate that. And as I say, it will be over on 74 Pond Street, and we'll be there for the dates I've mentioned. We'll probably be setting up for a couple of days before then to get everything ready. We get a lot of volunteers to come out and help us to put everything out and get them out on the tables and organize. So it's a big undertaking, the great group of people we have helping us. Also, I just, as a last thing, I just wanted to let everyone know that the mayor is holding a food drive here at the town hall. It'll be 9 to 12 this Saturday, the 6th of November, and the following Saturday, the 13th. And those will be for the holidays and to kind of get us some extra supplies for the winter. But there'll be 2 food drives, and there'll be this Saturday and the Saturday after. So anyway, anybody have any questions?
Yeah, thank you, Ann, for being here. So for this particular food drive, is it anything anybody wants to donate, or are you specifically focusing on holiday meals?
It could be the holiday meals. We're looking for paper goods. We're also looking for soups and things for the winter. We go through tons of soups and things. So it's everything that people need. But specifically, we do have a couple of groups that are just doing some food drives for the holidays too. So anything is appreciated and well used. And we try to make sure that if we're overloaded with anything, which we were about 2 weeks ago, and we share that with Father Bill's. We'll bring up, I mean, we got like commercial cans of like tuna fish and things, which we knew we'd never be able to use. A couple of big families took them, but the rest of it goes up to Father Bill's, so we share a lot of things. Just, I don't want to waste anything that's given, so.
Councilor Barrica.
Thank you, President Human. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I know, people don't think that there is a big need in Braintree, but even in District 5, in my district, people may not know, and I think it's important for residents to understand that in the heart of Braintree Square, the median household income is about 2/3 of that of the rest of the town. It is a state-designated economic justice zone. So there is a real need in Braintree for your services, and it doesn't go unnoticed. So thank you, and thank you to everyone in town who takes the time to contribute and help, because it really makes a difference. So so if people feel that they want to apply, or can you tell us how residents can get the
Applications.
Thanksgiving
Important.
meals?
Okay, the applications are available right now. They can come Monday through Thursday to the Crispin Center at 46 Lincoln Street. They would bring a proof of residency, like a current, maybe with a bill dated within the last couple of months with their name and address, a couple of things like that. If they have children, we just have to look at the birth certificates, write down their birth dates, and that qualifies them. The one application is for Thanksgiving and Christmas. They get 2 tickets off the application. So we are taking the applications there, but I also delivered out 100 applications to the schools. They can go to the school nurses, and the nurse will help them fill out the applications. I also went over to the, I still call it the Council of Aging, Elder Services, and they have some applications for the elders. Also, they can clarify on their application if they need a delivery of their holiday food. Those are done by the Highway Department. They come the first day of distribution, they load up the truck, and I have gotten some calls that they not only go to, there's one particular one, but they go to the house, they go in and they put everything away because somebody's daughter called and said, they even put the turkey in the fridge. So anyway, so we do have a delivery service for those holiday programs, and it's done by the Highway Department.
Thank you.
Okay, and
Thank
the
you so much.
applications are always available over at the center. And as I say, the schools and Council on Aging, Elder Services.
Thank you.
Councilor Ryan.
Thank you. Ian, when is the Christmas party that everyone can bring the toy drive? When
That is the Thursday before up at Granite Grill. Sean and a whole bunch of people help with that, and they get it organized. And people bring the toy, it's a toy drive.
So do we have a date, or is it?
Oh, it's the Thursday before is the 9th of December. 9th of December. Sean Powers is actually chairing, he's one of our board members. He is chairing the holiday program this year because he just loves it, and he's such an energetic person, and so we have him chairing it this year. So.
Thank you. And
I know we're going to fill a police car, and then we're going to go over to the police station and all that, right? Huh? On the 4th? Okay.
Well, I just want to thank you, Ian, and Marta, and Carolyn, and Matt. And Matt, I don't know how you got in this group right here, but you're in some very wonderful company with these ladies. And I know you're here tonight to really get the word out, to get as much support and as much that you can to make sure you have another successful holiday season. And I know you're not here to get credit, but I just want to take a minute to really say thank you for all the work that you folks do, because you're like angels down here on earth. And it's just one of the wonderful things about the town of Braintree. We have so many wonderful people that get involved. It's kind of funny because I hear people say, oh, Braintree, it's like it's kind of tough and changing. Braintree's wonderful. We have the best people in the world that really step up when we need them to, and you folks step up every day of the year, and I want to thank you so much for what you do. When you start looking at these numbers, 400 children making a difference on Christmas Day for 400 children, 175 families getting a Thanksgiving dinner. What a difference that is. It's amazing, and it's wonderful. And I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, from everyone, because you're doing wonderful work. Thank you so much.
It's just amazing to see how many people come together. And the McDonough family here in Braintree, they have a whole group, their family, their friends, and everybody, people from St. Clair's. They come down and they assemble the boxes. They provide the supplies for over 100 families. And Marty called me, he's got 200 turkeys for us, and he'll have them delivered on for our Thanksgiving distribution. Also, the Joshua K. Foundation, whom we've partnered with this past year, just a great group of people. They do baking boxes. So we're assembling baking boxes next week. And they'll get flour and sugar and whatever the frosting and cookie mixes. So anybody can go home and bake themselves to death. It's great, and they'll have them for the holidays. But those are going to be provided through the Joshua K. Foundation. I don't want to take up too much time, but we had a great time. Meredith was there. You were there for the dedication. We got a free library book box in front of the center. The Joshua K. Foundation has provided it, and we have plenty of books, and they're all children's books. And their thought was they like to support children's organizations, children's needs. And they did it all summer. They put these free book boxes for children's books close by, like next to food pantries. And that thought is when people come with their kids, they can run down the sidewalk, grab a book, take it home, it's theirs. And it's booming. It's booming. It's really good. And I have some neighborhood children, excuse me, I have neighborhood children manning the box. So if one book is gone, they come right back in to get another book and put it right in the box. So it's a nice community effort too. But we love it. Thank you. Thank you.
Anybody else? No. Ann, I just want to say thank you again. And can you talk to the numbers too? So you have 175 at Thanksgiving, but 224 at Christmas. That's almost 50, a difference of 50 families. Like,
But a lot of people, they go with their families for Thanksgiving. And because we've asked them if they need anything. What we also do with the elders is we try to do like turkey breasts, not a huge turkey. But I think the numbers will be up this year according to the applications.
now, if people can't make the food drive, they can. What are your hours at your center where they can drop off during the
Monday
week?
through Thursday from 7 in the morning until at least 4 in the afternoon. Somebody will be in the building.
Okay. You're looking for anything and everything right now, correct?
Anything goes.
Okay. And the Joshua K. Foundation, I did see that, and I think that's a wonderful addition, not only the library, but the donation of the baking kits.
The bake boxes.
Because those who are in need, a meal is more important, and they're going to spend money on food and shelter rather than having, cookies or cake. So what a treat that this family is offering to all these families in
Yeah,
need
and
that
they
they
put-
may not have ever had before or gone without in years
Actually, they
past.
put some recipes in the box too, just
That's
to add a little.
it's such a great idea, and as Councilor Ryan said, like all of you, it's just amazing what you do. We hear from you once a year, maybe twice. I think we should hear from you more because, as Councilor Ryan said, there's so many good things about this community. Like, Braintree is a vibrant community, and when people are in need, everybody steps up. That is the one, I
do.
think, our
They
biggest
do.
asset.
They
Where not
absolutely
many
do.
communities are like this. So kudos to all of you. I know there's a whole bunch of volunteers behind you, but it takes good leadership and all that to make all this happen. So, Ann, I know you don't like the praise, but you are incredible and amazing, and
Well, I
so many
also-
families benefit from your generosity and
I
goodwill.
also want to thank the rest of my board of directors because they're so important. In addition to Marta and Carolyn and for Matt, we also have Sean Powers, we have Peter Lee, we have Rich Bilecki, we have Hank Joyce, and everybody just steps up and helps wherever they can. They come in and they do some volunteer work for us. A couple of the board members do deliveries weekly for the elders. They bring the groceries out to them. So it's such a community, and Marge Crispin always stated that an organization like ours is only as good as the staff, the volunteers, and the supporters, and I can tell you firsthand, that's what makes it work. It's not just us in the building, it's everybody who helps. But thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thanks a lot. Have a nice.
You too. And then we have another announcement. I know Nicole TAUB is with us tonight, the Chief of Staff, who has some announcements on behalf of Mayor Kokoros.
Thank you very much, Madam President. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for the opportunity to provide some exciting information and updates as Veterans Day approaches next week on Thursday, November 11th. This year, we're really excited to announce a week-long series of events honoring our veterans this year and in this particular week. On Monday, November 8th at 1 p.m. at the Elder Affairs Building, we will be hosting a Veterans Day movie. Please don't ask me which one. I don't believe it's been decided yet, so stay tuned for that information. On Tuesday, the 9th, from 11:30 to 12:30 in the Elder Affairs parking lot, we'll be having a Veterans Day grab-and-go turkey dinner. On Thursday at 10:30, right here in Cahill Auditorium, we're going to be having our Veterans Day ceremony. Coffee and donuts will be available starting at 9:30 that morning, so please come and join us for some coffee and a bite before the event itself starts at 10:30. And then on Friday, November 12th, back at Elder Affairs at 10 a.m., we'll be hosting a Veterans Day breakfast. So we hope that folks that are interested and available will join us as we celebrate, recognize, and honor our veterans once again this year. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else have any announcements? Okay, moving on to communications. You all should have received the 2022 council calendar. If anybody has any conflicts, please reach out to Clerk Semino, and we will be voting on that before the year end.
We do the minutes.
We did not do, the minutes are coming up.
Next page.
They're next. Okay. Okay, moving on to approval of minutes, Councilor Ryan, from October 5th, 2021. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved, Madam President.
There's been a motion, a second.
Second.
Been a motion made by Councilor Ringus, seconded by Councilor Ryan. Roll call vote, please. Clerk Semino?
Council Baraka?
Yes.
Council Connors is not here. Council Flaherty?
Yes.
Council Hume?
I know, but, Yes, here, aye.
Council Mackin?
Covers it all.
Councilor O'Brien for the minutes to approve.
As revised November 1, aye.
Councilor Ringus?
Aye.
Councilor Ryan?
Aye.
Councilor Sasha?
Yes.
That is unanimous. Moving on to old business. Item 21028, the mayor, ordinance to establish an anti-blight program or take up any action relative thereto. This is a public hearing. This has been tabled, but is there a motion to take it off the table? Order 21028.
There is a motion to take it off the table, Madam President.
Second.
There's been a motion made by Councilor Ringus, seconded by Councilor Ryan, to take off Order 21028 off the table. Clerk Semino, roll call vote, please.
Council Baraka?
Yes.
Council Connors is not here. Council Flaherty?
Yes.
Councilor Hume?
Yes.
Councilor Mackin? Aye. Councilor O'Brien?
Aye.
Councilor Ringus?
Aye.
Councilor Ryan?
Aye.
Councilor Sasha? Yes. 8 in favor,
That
0
is
opposed.
unanimous. And now, if there's a motion to open the public hearing on Order 21028.
So moved, Madam President.
Second.
It's been a motion made by Councilor Ringus, seconded by Councilor Ryan. Clerk Semino, a roll call vote, please.
Council Baraka?
Yes.
Council Connors is not in attendance. Councilor Flaherty?
Yes.
Councilor Hume?
Aye.
Councilor Mackin? Aye. Councilor O'Brien?
Aye.
Councilor Ringus?
Aye.
Councilor Ryan?
Aye.
Councilor Sasha? Yes. 8 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you. And now I'll refer to Councilor Ringus, the chairman of the Committee on Ordinance and Rules, for your recommendation to the full council.
Thank you, Madam President. The Committee on Ordinance and Rules met tonight and voted 4-0 for favorable recommendation to the full council. Just as a little historic information, this was initially discussed by ONR on June 14th of 2021. We voted to send it to the full council at that point with a favorable recommendation, 3 in favor, 1 opposed. On June 15th of 2021 at the full council meeting, it was referred back to ONR. There was some discussion about it, and we recently received an updated memo with revisions from the mayor's office, which were discussed tonight at ONR. And so with those revisions and then another amendment that was made tonight by Councilor Shasha, the document before everyone tonight is reflective of the new amendment that was made by Councilor Shasha tonight. We did move forward with a 4-0 vote in favor of recommendation to the full council.
Thank you, Councilor Ringus. Anyone from the council wish to speak on this? Councilor Baraka, go ahead.
Thank you, President Hume. Just a question, I think for Councilor Ringus. Was the amendment just added this evening, or was it in our documents prior?
So it was added tonight. So I believe that the part that was before you was removed prior to the meeting, and what you have in front of you now has it. So under Section D, there is up above enforcement officer, there's a Section D, and it says because of fire, wind, or other natural disaster, or because of physical deterioration, it is no longer useful for the purpose for which it was originally intended.
Okay.
So prior to that, it used to read after the phrase, it is no longer, it used to say it is no longer habitable as a dwelling or useful for the purpose. So tonight at the ONR meeting, we removed the segment habitable as a dwelling because this does apply to commercial property as opposed to residential dwellings.
And that was the only
That was the only
adjustment.
change
Thank you
tonight.
so much. Okay, thank you.
Any other councilors? Anyone from the mayor's office wish to speak on this? Come on up, Chief of Staff TAUB.
Thank you again, Madam
Thank
President.
you.
Just to fill in a little bit of the gaps between what happened when the original draft was referred back to ordinance and rules before coming back before you this evening with what I'm very pleased to see is a unanimous favorable recommendation. As the council may recall, there were some concerns raised by the Braintree Chamber with regards to the original draft and some kind of collateral effects it may have on some of our businesses, property owners, and mortgage holders. Working with the Chamber through the Chair Kim Crowa, the town was able to make some revisions as proposed by the Chamber to address those concerns. And I'm happy to report that we were able to work together to incorporate almost all of the proposed modifications made by the Chamber to ensure that we are protecting our local businesses while also ensuring that we have the ability to enforce and prevent properties from becoming blighted or a nuisance to the community, which, as I think everybody would agree, affects not only that property, but the surrounding properties in the community as a whole. And when it comes to commercial and industrial properties, we felt there was a real gap in the existing ordinances, both general and zoning, that gave us a real enforcement ability to effectuate change. And we believe the document presented before you this evening is going to do just that. You have in your packets a letter of support from the Chamber signed by the board, as well as a letter from District 5 resident Raina Rubin also offering strong support for the ordinances drafted. I think this is a real step in the right direction to helping clean up some of these properties and really helping provide, for lack of a better term, some teeth in enforcement and making sure that we're continuing to clean up Braintree for the betterment of not just the neighbors, but as I said, the community as a whole. And with that, I'm happy to take any additional questions from the council on the draft for you.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for Chief of Staff TAUB? Okay, none? Thank you. Anybody from the public wish to speak on this? If you do, come on up to the mic. Seeing none, okay. Is there a motion to close the public hearing?
Excuse me,
Oh.
Council President. Councilor O'Brien would like to make a statement.
Okay. Councilor O'Brien, go ahead.
Are you ready?
Yes, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Ways and Means members, Town Administration, Town Council, I rise in objection to 21-028, Ordinance to Establish Anti-Blight Program. There are many reasons why this ordinance leaves this councilor with pause. not the least of which are general concerns originally voiced by the Braintree Chamber of Commerce. While the Chamber is now seemingly satisfied, one would argue the Chamber does not speak for all businesses, rather, they speak only for those they represent. That leaves without representation businesses that do not maintain a membership with the Chamber, landlords, individuals, and small to medium businesses that may not have the revenue to afford a lobbying organization. Going off script, this is not meant as a harsh criticism of the Chamber. Rather, I applaud their effort to make the modifications that you see before you. But what I'm stating are just facts. Now we're going back to script. With reference to the anti-blight ordinance, let me begin by saying I don't know anyone that wants blight in any town or city where they live or own property. It would also be illogical to think citizens with malice would purposely leave a property blighted unless an outside influence, such as financial or other woes, leave them unable to address the situation. A particular example includes loss of revenue as a result of a situation beyond their control, such as the pandemic, a situation that still affects many businesses and residents, both medically and financially. For an example of a blight-related situation, just look at the one in my district, Braintree Landing. It was specifically designated as blighted by the executive branch, enabling the former and current mayor, as well as some on this council, to utilize that negative classification to allow the landing development to be approved with special zoning. While convenient then, it now seems that classification is no longer advantageous. Help me understand. Separately, for years, a large Braintree landlord has owned many buildings that have remained empty and in very poor condition. While there may have been discussions with the landlord from the executive branch, there have been very few, if any, actions taken to remedy these properties. Yet the administration felt no need to bring forward an anti-blight ordinance. Now comes this legislation seemingly targeting one particular location shut down by the Board of Health. No one is arguing there was concern with that property. But at that time, the government used ordinances available to the Board of Health, and those same ordinances continue to be available today. Nothing has changed, but for some reason we now seem to need even more legislation. Help me understand. This councilor, for one, disagrees with the need and feel it is government overreach. Rather than focus on aesthetics, the administration should focus on hazards, and legislation exists today to remedy hazards. If someone owning a property, be it commercial, multifamily, or residential, fails to maintain the vegetation for more than a couple of weeks, should we penalize them? What about the small landlord, commercial or multifamily, where the tenant is not paying rent due to unforeseen factors? That same landlord may own the property with little to no profit. Then they find themselves having to carry the tenant while they pursue legal recourse. Who are we to pursue them when they are down and force them to perform work they may not be able to afford under the circumstances? I have driven by properties in Braintree that do not look very attractive, yet are owned by an infirm or older adult, perhaps struggling just to pay monthly bills, including the ever-increasing tax bill and insurance bill on homes they have owned for years. Yes, the value of that home has increased over time, but their pension or Social Security payments have far from kept up with the inflation of the property value. These people find themselves house rich, but cash deficient. This legislation sends the message to them they should potentially spend money they may not have, or your local government will fine you. Then do work you may be unable to afford, then force you to pay reparations one way or another. Now let's look to town-owned buildings. Focusing in my district alone, one only has to look at a building located at Elmwood Park and Elliott Street. For many years, including before my time on the council, the building has been used as a seemingly dangerous playground for bad actors. Neighbors have registered complaints about drug activity, thefts of the building contents have occurred, and recently the landscape has been poorly maintained. It is just one example where this ordinance may be attempting to target others when the town needs to look at itself. Other locations around town owned by the town or federal government need attention and could be mentioned, but hopefully I've made my point. There are ways to engage landlords to get them to maintain their property without legislation. First and foremost would be direct discussions with property owners, letting them know the condition is not desirous. Mortgage companies could be contacted, as it is incumbent on them that the property be maintained. And insurance companies will not insure properties not properly maintained. Therefore, contacting the insurer of record could provide them fuel to reconsider insuring the property. Legislation exists today that could recommend property owners remove dangerous or hazardous personal property. But those same laws have to be enforced. With regards to this, a couple of years ago, a property was pointed out where unregistered and seemingly broken down vehicles were being stored without proper zoning. In that particular situation, the owner was notified by our building department, yet years later, at least one of the same broken down vehicles still has not been removed. In summary, while I could go line by line through the ordinance, where there exists broad and subjective guidance, these broad and subjective measures could provide neighbors with malice to target individuals that, through no fault of their own, are finding themselves in a situation that may be out of their financial or physical control. This councilor would not approve the ordinance, and I ask each and every one of you to think long and hard before you vote. As a former U.S. president once said, government's first duty is protect the people, not run their lives. Nor should we attempt to ruin lives. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody wish to speak? Councilor Ryan, go ahead.
Wow. So I'm going to be supporting this ordinance. It's a wonderful ordinance. I want to thank everyone involved, and I think it's great. I'll be fully supporting it.
Anybody else? Councilor Baraka.
Hume. I completely agree with my colleague, Councilor Ryan. One of, if not the most frequently raised concern I hear from residents in District 5 is about dilapidated properties in the district. And I will also be voting in full support of this ordinance this evening in solidarity with my constituents, many of whom have reached out to me over the last several days when they saw this was finally coming up for a vote. I am hopeful this will be the first step in cleaning up several, if not one of the biggest eyesores in town, and moving us towards thoughtful ways to redevelop properties in town. If this provides a tangible means to incentivize commercial property owners to clean up their properties and give Braintree the buildings that we deserve. So I would like to also thank the mayor's office, my colleagues on the Ordinance and Rules Committee, who I know worked very hard through this over the last several months, the Braintree Chamber of Commerce for all working together to get this in front of the council, and I am voting in full support of this evening.
Thank you, Councilor Baraka.
Thank you.
Councilor Shasha.
Thank you, Madam President. I will also be supporting this because, to echo what Councilor Baraka said, we hear this from the residents all the time. This addresses primarily commercial properties. There were a lot of residential properties over the summer that, for one reason or another, had been abandoned in my district, and I was the one asking the mayor's office to make sure that this included residential properties. But there is some misunderstanding on this in that the only application to residential properties here is for abandoned properties. This is not, we don't like the way my neighbor is maintaining his grass. He doesn't mow it often enough. This is only properties that have been abandoned, only residential properties that have been abandoned 180 days or more, which is exactly what residents have been asking for because it's a health hazard, it attracts animals, and there are a lot of reasons to support this, and I will be. Thank you.
May I just to clarify that one point from Councilor Sasha, Madam President, it's 180 days for commercial properties, 90 days for residential in order for them to be deemed abandoned.
Thank you. Councilor Flaherty, did you?
I just wanted to add that I think it's worth noting that there is a mechanism in place for people who are affected by this to apply for a waiver. So if there are extenuating circumstances, then there is a way for people to express that and have those circumstances considered. So I think this is a strong measure to take. I think it's worth doing, and it will have my support.
Thank you. Anybody else? Is there a motion to close the public hearing, Councilor Ringus?
So moved, Madam President.
Second.
There's been a motion made by Councilor Ringus, seconded by Councilor Ryan. Clerk Semino, a roll call vote, please, to close the public hearing.
Councilor Baraka.
Yes.
Councilor Connors is not in attendance. Councilor Flaherty.
Yes.
Councilor Hume.
Aye.
Councilor Mackin. Councilor O'Brien to close the public hearing.
Aye.
Councilor Ringus.
Aye.
Councilor Ryan.
Aye.
Councilor Sasha. Yes. 8 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you. Now, is there a motion for order 21028, the mayor's order to establish an anti-blight program? Councilor Ringus.
So moved, Madam President.
Second.
It's been a motion made by Councilor Ringus, seconded by Councilor Ryan. Clerk Semino, a roll call vote, please.
Councilor Baraka.
Yes.
Councilor Connors is not attending this evening. Councilor Flaherty.
Yes.
Councilor Hume.
Aye.
Councilor Mackin. Councilor O'Brien.
No.
Councilor Ringus.
Aye.
Councilor Ryan.
Aye.
Councilor Sasha.
Yes.
7 in favor, 1 opposed.
That is 7-1. That passes. Thank you all. Moving on to the next item, Order 21050, the mayor appointment of the Historical Commission, Brenda McCarthy, or take up any action relative thereto. This was tabled in Ways and Means, so we will not take this up this evening. At the next meeting, hopefully, we will hear from Mr. McCarthy. Next new business, there is none. So moving on to referrals to the Committee of Ways and Means. Councilor Ringus, please.
I would move to refer to the Committee on Ways and Means 21055, Mayor, CPA Appropriation, Request for Appropriation, Doherty Gym Exterior Courts and Drainage, or take up any action related thereto, as well as 21056, Mayor, Resolution to file and accept grants with and from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Executive Office of Energy and Environmental Affairs for the Land and Water Conservation Fund Grant Improvement Program for improvements to the Middle Street Woods, or take up any action related thereto.
Second.
There's been a motion made by Councilor Ringus, seconded by Councilor Ryan. Clerk Semino, a roll call vote, please.
Councilor Baraka.
Yes.
Councilor Connors is not in attendance. Councilor Flaherty.
Yes.
Councilor Hume.
Aye.
Councilor Mackin. Councilor O'Brien.
Aye.
Councilor Ringus.
Aye.
Councilor Ryan.
Aye.
Councilor Sasha. 8 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you. And now for referrals to the Committee on Ordinance and Rules. Councilor Ringus.
I would move that we refer to the Committee on Ordinance and Rules 21054, Planning Board, ZBA, Zoning Bylaw Text Amendment, or take up any action related thereto.
Second.
It's been a motion made by Councilor Ringus, seconded by Councilor Ryan. Clerk Semino, roll call vote, please.
Councilor Baraka.
Yes.
Councilor Connors is not in attendance. Councilor Flaherty.
Yes.
Councilor Hume.
Aye.
Councilor Mackin. Councilor O'Brien.
Aye.
Councilor Ringus.
Aye.
Councilor Ryan.
Aye.
Councilor Sasha. 8 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you. Our next meeting will be Tuesday, November 16th, right here in this auditorium at 7:30 p.m. Thank you, as always, to BCAM, Wes, Bill, and Jerry for televising us live on their YouTube channel, and for all of you there at home. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved, Madam President.
Second.
It's been a motion made by Councilor Ringus, seconded by Councilor Ryan. Clerk Semino, roll call vote, please.
Councilor Baraka.
Yes.
Councilor Connors not in attendance. Councilor Flaherty.
Yes.
Councilor Hume.
Aye.
Councilor Mackin. Councilor O'Brien.
Aye.
Councilor Ringus.
Aye.
Councilor Ryan.
Aye.
Councilor Sasha. 8 in favor, 0 opposed.
We are adjourned. Good night, everybody.